Hey there, Todd McCann here from the Trucker Dump Podcast. Well, I should say the now defunct Trucker Dump Podcast. Yep, I shut her down finally. So I did the Trucker Dump Podcast it started as a blog in 2009, and then in 2012 I converted it to a podcast. And I did it through 2023 when I went through some job changes, kind of just lost motivation after 11 years. So I've shut it down. The website will be shut down, so everything you hear, I'm putting all the podcasts on YouTube, so that's going to probably be the only place you can get it, so it won't be available in your podcatchers anymore or anything like that. But I wanted this stuff to be available still, especially to new drivers coming into the industry, because there is still a lot of good information. Even though it's been done throughout 11 years, the trucking industry really doesn't change that much that fast. So I just thought it'd be a good resource to keep up, but I didn't want to keep paying for the website because it is pretty expensive to keep something like that up and hosting all those audio files and stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of try to introduce myself here. This will be the only actual video you see of me on here, I think. And there's a few others with product reviews and stuff like that. But as far as the podcast goes, it's just audio with my logo bouncing around on the screen. But anyway, it'll be available. Oops, I nearly forgot to tell you about my trucking experience. That might be helpful, right? Well, actually, I did forget, but now I'm editing it back in, which is why it looks different, because the sun's going down. So anyway, I started driving a truck with the Evil Overlord in 1997. We both went to driving school about the same time, and we drove team for about 10 years, so I got some team experience there. Ever since then, I've been solo, so about 30 years at the time of this recording. So I think I've got some experience. I think I know a little bit about the trucking industry. One thing I don't know about whatsoever is owner operating. I know nothing about it. I've never owned a truck. I've never leased a truck. I've never had a desire to do that. So that is not what this podcast is about. If you're looking for that kind of information, there's lots of other good podcasts out there that cover owner operating, but this is not that place. So now that I've interjected that, let's get back to where we were before. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So I just kind of wanted to tell you what the Trucker Dump Podcast was. It started out kind of like just like a personal journal, basically, where I was just kind of ranting about stuff or talking about stuff that I really liked, have a good day, talk about that. And then it kind of morphed into, like advice for truckers, how to become a better trucker, how to be more friendly to your fellow truckers, how to treat auto drivers, how to be the most efficient trucker you can be, trucker etiquette, and then it kind of morphed into like some product reviews and some interviews with truck drivers, some unique jobs like oversized, overweight trucking, just different kinds of odd jobs that you wouldn't see every day, like the average truck driver. So some of those, and then eventually it turned into a weekly news podcast. And honestly, I don't think that was my best stuff. I think my best stuff was back when I was scripting a lot of it and really thinking about all the topics that I was going to talk about. And, it was all well thought out. Now, the trucking news was too, but my heart wasn't quite in it. I was trying to turn it into a weekly podcast because before then, as anybody who's listened to the podcast knows, it was very sporadic. I'm a truck driver, full-time truck driver, working up to about 70 hours a week. And, I didn't have a lot of time to podcast. I usually did it in my 34-hour breaks and stuff like that. So, that's, kind of just how that happened, where it was just really slow going. Sometimes I'd be a month between podcasts. Sometimes I think the longest I ever went was 6 months until just recently, and it's been probably about a year since I released. I got a few more just to finish up the run, and just a couple more product reviews and kind of talk about the last job that I had and then the job I'm at currently, and then it'll be done. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to share this with you. So as you're listening through, just remember that all of the links that I mentioned, about truckdriving.com, truckerdump@gmail.com, most of those are going to be broken. Like the links, if you go to them, it isn't going to work. Now, truckerdump@gmail.com is going to stay up. So if you have anything to say about the podcast or anything like that, or just want to say hi, feel free, truckerdump@gmail.com. And I will respond. But I won't read it on the show like I used to do. I used to read all my emails on the show. So answer questions, and just take general comments from truckers if they had something to say about something, or if they had a correction for me. Which, man, I love that about this community that I had with the Trucker Dump. It was so great. I had so many experienced drivers on there that were just willing to just come out and say, "Yep, you were wrong about that, dude. Totally wrong." And I'm always open to feedback and stuff like that. So again, ain't gonna do you no good really, and except for just say hi, and thanks for the podcast if you enjoy it. Truckerdump@gmail.com. But like I say, website will be down. I do mention some books that I've written. There's one called How to Find a Great Truck Driving Job, and another called Trucking Life. And they're really designed for newer truckers. The how-to book is kind of the questions to ask a company. The other book, Trucking Life, is just kind of like, what's it like to be a truck driver? So I used to charge like $9.99 for those. You could get a combo deal for like $14.98 or something like that. But I have made those as free as I can possibly do. I'm going to, Amazon won't let me do it for free, unfortunately. So they're still going to be like, the lowest I can go there is like $2.99. But I'm telling you, if you email me at truckerdump@gmail.com, I will send you the PDF. And also, I'm going to post the audiobook version of that, which was available with the text version. I'm going to put it on YouTube too. I haven't decided whether I'm going to chop it up into little segments, like a chapter a piece, so it'll be easier to navigate, or if I'm just going to put the whole 9.25 hour audiobook on there. Haven't decided that yet, but anyway, look for it on the YouTube here, and you can listen to it there. Anyway, I'm trying to make it as free as possible. I just didn't want to mess with it anymore, but I do think it's good information. The book is kind of, I don't know, maybe outdated a little bit with the money. Like I think I said, you can start out at $40,000 or $50,000, and you can generally start out a little bit more than that now if you're smart and find the right company. So little things like that. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of get on here, introduce myself, so you can put a face with the a face with the name when I talk on the show, and just kind of introduce myself. I really enjoyed making this podcast for 11 years. Sometimes it was difficult, sometimes it was a pain in the butt, but in general, I like the product that came out of it. I think it's got a lot of good information. I've had a lot of emails from new people in the industry that said it really gave them a kickstart on their career, that they learned things that would have taken them years to learn, and they just, learn it by listening to the podcast. So if you're new especially, I recommend going back and just hitting them all up. If nothing else, it's decent entertainment. Even if you are an experienced driver, there's some funny stories in there. I try to input as much humor as I can in it. I talk a lot about my wife, who is referred to as the evil overlord. She knows and accepts that because it's true. So she was my wife and my co-driver. She still is my wife, 30 years. And she was my co-driver for about 10 of that. So we got some adventures going on there too. Okay, at this point I'm rambling, so I'll just wrap this up. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who stuck with me during this 11 years. Wow, 11 years. That is freaking crazy. Never thought I'd be doing it for 11 years, but I did. Anyway, thank you for sticking with me through all this, the sporadic. I mean, it was on and off. Sometimes I'd go 6 months without, a podcast, and recently it's been up to a year. And you stuck with me through it all. Nobody gave me a hard time about it. They understood my weird work schedule and just were happy to get episodes when they could get them. So thank you all. Thanks to everyone who participated in the podcast, whether you turned in a trucker grub with some good place to eat, or you just wrote feedback, giving me some information about yourself or something I'd gotten wrong, whatever it was. Thank you for your input. Thank you for the community that it provided. The Trucker Dump Slack group was great as long as it lasted. It's still up, but it's just not very active. So if you hear that mention of that in the episodes, Just letting you know. It's still there. You can still join it, but it's just not very active. What a surprise. Facebook group never was active because I wasn't active on it because I suck at Facebook. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. Again, I met so many good people through this, through the feedback, through the interviews, just talking to people online. It was just awesome. So I guess that's really all I have to say. Thank you. I hope any of you new people coming in get some good information out of the podcast. If you do, be sure to let me know, truckerdump@gmail.com, and check out the books, How to Find a Great Truck Driving Job and Trucking Life. Again, made those as free as possible. Email me and I'll send those to you for free, or you can listen to the audio version right here on this YouTube channel. So like I say, I guess that's about it. Love y'all. Thanks for listening. And I guess that's it. Oh, wait. Maybe there's one more thing. Drive safe and stay out of my way. Later.